it's going to be a rather complex tutorial, so feel free to slow it down or pause or go back, and it's pretty big, and I understand that, and it takes a lot of blocks if you're doing it in survival. So just feel free to pause, to take your time. This is not easy, right? This is a pretty complex thing I built in creative mode, so if you would like to replicate it, I give you the tools here, but you know. So what you're going to want to do is probably pause it at this point and on these screens and either take a screenshot or do something, but these are the blocks that are necessary if you're building it in survival, and some of them are a little give or take depending on how you choose to make the actual build, but what I can say is that, you know, you can get it done. So here's how we want it to look, and here's our measurements. So if you need to pause it on the measurements, once again, do it. The area we're starting off on is a 15 by 15 square, so you're just going to want to take the smooth sandstone blocks and build that. You're then going to want to go up 22 blocks high and just fill it in. All the corners and both sides will be 22 blocks high like this, with a small shape on top. To do this shape, we're just going to take our stairs, slabs, and smooth sandstone and kind of build this little tiny curve, and that's just going to be about a 1 to 2 to 1.5 to 1 to half block curve. So that sounds a little confusing, but if you look at it, it's not too hard to understand, and we're going to be working on it a little bit later because it's not perfect at this point in the video, and I decided on some things I would like more when it came time for actually roofing. So once you copy that to the other side, you're then going to want to build up 21 blocks high, this wall and the other wall, and you're going to have the whole frame done for the entirety of this house. So like I said, do it on the other side, and if you want, you can probably do the interior as you're doing this, but it's good to know where the windows are going to go, I think, unless you want to put them somewhere yourself. So I'd wait to actually start making the floors until you're done with the rest of it. If you want to hold off on the roof, I get it, maybe do that. So what I like to do when I'm starting the roof for this build is actually thicken it by another block. So we get a 2-block thick sides here, and then we can start deciding how our roof is going to be done. So right at the top layer, 1 block out from each side, we're going to build upside down oak stairs, and that's going to be kind of like an underframe, and then we're going to start using slabs and build 3 slabs back with brick, and then we're going to build up with bricks up to the top in just a very basic shape. I then decided that I wanted those to be a little bit higher, so I put slabs on top of that layer and built the other layer up 1. So you notice we have 3 slab layers in the front, and then we go and we add some slabs to the actual curve. If you want to look at the curve more, here it is. Also, here's the design I use for the top of both sides of the villa house. So it's just slabs and upside down stairs in that 4 tall, 3 wide shape. Next, we're going to go 3 blocks in from the right side, and we're going to add a 2x3 window. We're going to put a layer of grass below it, and then we're going to take our throwaway block, which in this case is wool, and we're just going to add slabs to the outside of that, or trapdoors I mean, and then we're going to add trapdoors to the inside 2 blocks of that. We're going to then at the top add the inverted stairs and the regular stairs. We're then going to fill it in with trapdoors and place regular upside down stairs below it, and just like that you have a window. Now an even center you want to keep, so 3 blocks from the left do the same thing, then go 2 blocks down from each window and start your next window. So there should be a 2-block gap in between both of these windows and the windows below them, my bad. And then 2.5 blocks down is where you're going to start your actual awning here. So literally this is 2.5 blocks or 3 blocks. At the bottom of that 3rd block you're going to build your slab. It's going to be 5 blocks long of bricks with the 1-block frame of oak. And then you're going to do 2x2 window below it, and you're just going to work on doing your trim like that, so on the inside. You're going to basically copy this exact thing onto the other side, and that way when you build your floors, they're going to be, you know, even, and you have 2 flat walls with nothing on them and 2 walls that are well designed with even windows. So your interior shouldn't be too hard later on. I'm not going to help with interior in this video. I think that's definitely up to you. I'm doing enough with this video, but you know, do your best to copy it. So this area is actually 14 blocks long instead of 15 blocks, and it's built right off the side of our house. If you saw it in the initial measurements, what this area is, it's not that complicated, but there's a lot of colors. So what I'm doing is I use yellow for cut sandstone, I use red for smooth sandstone, and I use the magenta or purple for sandstone walls. So that's a good way to kind of understand the base and see it. And I like to build all of the cut sandstone and sandstone walls in this area up 2 blocks and leave the actual sandstone where it is. And then I like to just fill in the floor. Then getting ready to actually make the porch, I build 2 sandstone walls up on the pillars, on the cut sandstone in the front, and just there, nowhere else. Because the rest of this will actually serve as part of the house, whereas this serves as part of the walkway. So we're going to do it like this and just frame it with the inverted stairs, make a nice archway, and then we're going to start making our archway inside. Now to do this, you just follow this basic principle where you take a slab upside down, put it between regular blocks, and shabam, you've got yourself just the coolest looking archway on the face of the earth. Then fill in the wall and make sure that the hallway is 3 blocks wide. That's about it. Also make sure you're putting in that staircase in the front, or else it's not going to be walkable. Then you're going to build about 15 blocks high right at that corner block, and on the other corner 15 blocks high, meet in the middle, and then build it in like that. Fill in the rest of it, and pretty self-explanatory stuff here. But don't fill in that area right where the walkway is, or else there's going to be this big wall in the walkway and it won't make sense, so only fill in the top part. Then take upside down oak wood stairs, put them at the very top of that second block of cut sandstone, and then do a pattern where you go left, right, right, and then you put a slab and you start building up a frame. Now the frame's really easy. It starts with the slab on a slab and just moves up in whole blocks, and then we roof it with regular blocks for bricks. Nothing too hard here, and it's very nice color scheme. It works very well together, inspired by like Roman color schemes. So the build itself kind of keeps the feeling all the way through. The only difference is that we are building in more of a Western style. So at the top of that 15 block high thing, you want to make this checkered pattern, and then you want to go out 1 block from it and start building your frame for the roof. The frame is super simple. You look at it right there. It should just be slab, 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 slab. And then you're going to want to build the actual brick roof. Now, the brick roof should sit 1 block higher, or 1/2 block higher than the entirety of the frame. So when I say that, it should look like this. Here's a front shot of how the roof should look, and just fill in the rest of it. You want your roof to be sitting slightly above the frame as it goes up. Now on to the kind of outhouse storage area type thing built off to the far right side of the build. This is 18 blocks long and 7 blocks wide and 5 blocks tall. Now the corner blocks are cut sandstone, and everything else is smooth sandstone. Remember, yellow cut sandstone, magenta sandstone wall, red smooth sandstone. So we build it up just like that, 5 blocks high. Then we take our planks and we start making a basic roof, but I decided that a basic roof would just not be fun. Of course, we're already going so complex with this whole thing that we might as well make it a little bit crazier and go with a stair, and then a whole block, and then a whole block with a slab, and then double whole blocks, and that will give us a nice curve. What we're going to do next is build 1 layer of spruce slabs on top, and we're going to start working on a trim using the slabs. So taking spruce slabs, we can make ourselves this great little trim, and then we can just fill in the rest of the roof. The thing is, do not make this trim on both sides, only make it on this outside part. The inside part we're going to do some work to in a minute. And then here we're going to want to finish our roof. We're going to want to build it down to a 2x3 door, and then in that 2x3 door at the very top, we're going to want to fill it in with 1 layer of slab, and this will give it a nice little air gap feel above the actual doorway, which is very, very ranchy, in my opinion. So we do it there as well with the door, and now we're going to get on to building the outside porch area. This is literally just a mimicry of the thing we did on the other side, the porch. So if you are unsure of how to do this, or how I'm doing it right here, if you've already built the front porch area out of the bricks and wood we did earlier, then you can just copy that over. Go look at it and literally rebuild it. Don't worry about breaking down certain parts of the other roof. Try to build within the span of the roof, but it's not a huge deal. The only difference is instead of building 2 blocks high, we're building 1 block high because we're not elevating it off the floor. So it should look like this, with your pillars being 1 cut sandstone, 2 wall, 3 cut sandstone high. And then the same kind of wood staircase pattern that we're used to, and the end frame. Then fill it all in with sandstone, just like normal. But instead we're going to start working on a frame, and we're going to take the cut sandstone and actually build this box that will be on the 3rd block high. We're then going to want to start adding our upside down stairs all throughout this part of the build, and that will just give it a lot of support and make it feel realistic. So do it again there, just like we keep doing. This is a pretty constant design pattern we use throughout the build, so it's a pretty recurring idea. Then what we're going to want to do is actually go and remove all the grass, remove everything, and just put something down there. It can be sand, it can be sandstone, it can be smooth sandstone. Really do whatever you want, and then fill it in. If you are worried about just put a torch, fill it all the way in, make it thick, do whatever you want. Lastly, what we're going to do is add our doors, and we're going to want to add them from the inside, and that way they're going to open towards the outside. Then we're going to go inside, we're going to delete all the grass, and then we are going to replace it with oak wood planks. And on that door frame right there that leads back into the villa, we're actually going to put sand. You don't want to put oak wood planks there because we're putting all of our doors on the inside. The doors, the block under it has to match the block on the outside, not the inside. So then 3 blocks in from the left and 3 blocks in from the right, we are going to cut little 2x2 holes in the wall, and they should be about 1 block off the ground. We're going to throw black stained glass in there just like we have been doing with all the other windows. The next thing you're going to want to do is go add this little dirt patch in front of it with trapdoors. And then you're going to want to throw away blocks in there and do some sort of trapdoor pattern. I chose to do a double trapdoor pattern at first with my stairs on top. I then decided that the trapdoor pattern I didn't necessarily enjoy, so I got rid of the outside part of the trapdoor pattern to make it a little skinnier, in a similar way to how we did the bottom front and back of the house earlier with the 2x2 windows. I felt like that was better for a 2x2 window to be a little less thick. Now going to the front of the house, we're just going to do the walls. So that wall right there is 24 blocks long, that wall is 18 blocks, and that wall is 16 blocks. Now you're going to put your cut sandstone on the yellow part, and you're going to fill the rest of it in with smooth sandstone. Now the walls here, will only be 4 blocks high, and that 4th layer of blocks will actually be cut sandstone. So you're only going to do 3 blocks high of smooth sandstone anywhere throughout this build, and everything else is the 4th block being cut sandstone. So it's going to look like this. Now we're going to start on the actual gateway, and to do that we're just going to build 1 block up with cut sandstone or regular sandstone, it does not matter. And then you're going to build upside down stairs all around it. Then you're on top of those stairs going to put walls, on top of those regular stairs, and something in between those stairs. Then you're going to stick a lantern off the top, put down your fence gates, and I do spruce, and then you're going to make an archway out of slabs. This gives you your nice front entrance, and it's very ranchy feeling. Then we're going to go over here to this little dip. Basically you're just going to go 4 blocks high right there, and you're going to go 8 blocks high in the back. So we're going from 4 to 8 blocks, and then you're going to build the 8 block high part 6 blocks out to the right, and so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You're going to build it 3 blocks down like that, and then you're going to build the 4 block high part 4 blocks out. Then remember, so our yellow is cut sandstone and our red is smooth sandstone. So you're going to want to just lay the rest of the build out like this. It's not going to hurt anyone, it's not going to get anyone's way. The whole back wall is going to stay at that consistent 8 block high place that we had just left off, So just build it 8 blocks high. Make the top layer cut sandstone as we did, and you'll end up with the rest of your wall. Now your compound is basically going to be completely secured, and it's actually going to be almost like a little private residence rather than something people can get into. Then this little outstretched area here is actually also going to be 8 blocks high, but this is going to be more for storage, or if you want like a furnace room or a crafting room or a little library outside, whatever works. This can be used as that. So I'll show you how to make that completely workable, but this is what you want now. So those blocks in the center aren't 8 blocks high, those are actually going to be pillars to give us a little opening. So we're going to go 2 blocks high of cut sandstone, 2 blocks high of sandstone wall, and 3 blocks high of cut sandstone. On the top 2 layers, we're just going to fill it all in. We're going to add upside down staircases. And then what we're going to do for the 5 block wide gap there is do upside down staircases on both sides with a slab in between them. Then on the inside, right where the cut sandstone meets the sandstone wall, all you're going to do is put an upside down staircase on both sides, so it's kind of like this mirrored pattern, and that's going to help us to make the roof feel supported later on down the road. You're also going to add oak wood fence up on this top layer, and that will give us something to peer down at. Then for the walkway, which this whole area will have, a gigantic walkway, you're going to want to take oak wood and you're just going to want to fill it all in. Then you're going to go cut a little gap the same width and you're just going to build it back like that. So that's what it should look like at the end. Now don't worry about that part, we'll get to that in a bit. But on the inside, only on the back wall, you're going to want to do that design where you have this left-right pattern with the staircases. Don't do it on this front part. You don't have to do it anywhere really, but I just thought it would look nice. You're then going to want to build the cut sandstone right above the staircase, and then in between the cut sandstone you're going to do a slab. Now the reason for this is to make a nice little archway, and it'll be super helpful for, you know, connecting. So when I say connecting, I mean literally right here, connecting. So we're going to connect the roof from the front porch to the roof that we have just made, and we're going to have this nice little divot in our roof the entire way through, so it's very consistent. Now the way you do all these upside down stairs and the styling is so unimportant that it doesn't matter. I just do it my way because that's how I do it, but the way you want to do it really will not affect the outcome of the build in any way. So when we go over to this little area, I like to build that tiny little arch, and then I like to go over to the front door and build another tiny little arch. And now we're going to work on our door. So the gigantic door that is the basically center of the whole build is going to be using throwaway blocks on the back layer, and then on the front, right there, we're going to be using spruce trapdoors. Just make them all go up, and bam! We've got a super cool door. Now, a cool way to style and detail the build without doing much is to take slabs and stairs and just kind of randomly throw them throughout the actual build, like this. So it adds this like weathered pattern almost. It makes it feel uneven and rocky and jagged, like it's been worn over years. And I like to also dig stairs into the trim. Then I like to put stairs into the walls in kind of jagged patterns like this to make it feel like the actual windows are worn down. Now going on to the stairs that will help us get up to the top, we're going to do that right in between this gap here, and we're going to use logs to do it. We're also going to do oak slabs, and we're going to do just this pattern back and forth. I think that for me it was more about design, so I left a space and you have to jump up. But if it's something you actually want to use and you want it to be workable, then maybe you should try to do staircases instead of slabs. It would work out just as well, and you know, it'd actually work, so you can actually get up to the top. I was thinking more from a design perspective. So going to the backside wall that we just worked on, we're going to want to get rid of all those throwaway blocks. You see they're gone. And then we're going to want to add a little bit of trim to our door, a frame, and then at the top block of all those sandstone columns, you're going to want to add cut sandstone and upside down staircases with slabs in between. There's literally no reason for this, it just looks nice, and it should look nice on the outside to a degree, right? It's not what we care about the most, but yeah. Then you're going to take this 5x5 area at the top of the staircases we just made, and you're going to build this little 3-wall high, 3-cut sandstone high with a block on top, or with a square on top, like pagoda type thing. This is not necessary either, but once again, cool design feature, looks great, helps establish a lot of space to build. And you're just going to do that same pattern all the way around. So if you want to go back and look at it, feel free. You're then going to go into the very front corner, left corner of this build, and place a log, and then 7 blocks away from it and 11 blocks away from it, you're going to want to actually add another log and build all those logs 5 blocks high. On the 4th block, you're going to place a stone button, and then you're going to do a really basic, like shanty style roofing, where you're just going to take wood slabs and kind of build up in this direction. On the inside, you're going to take oak fence, and you're just going to want to make this little bit of, underside on the front and back. For me, I wanted this to be a stable, so I ended up making 3 oak fences right along the center and lots of hay. And I decided to place the hay all over, kind of like in a random pattern, like a barn. And for me, this is where I place my horses, but you can do whatever you want with this build. If you would like to make this area something else, like an alchemy station or a cooking station or something else, it all works. It's just a shack. It just takes some space. If you go find the center block, lining up the wooden staircases right there, along with the center of the door we built, you can start building your fountain, which is 2 blocks high of quartz pillar, 2 blocks high of quartz, and a diorite wall on top. Then you're going to make this circle out of diorite, and you're going to fill in the bottom where the grass was with green wool. None of that is really necessary, the green wool especially, but I just thought it would look better if it had like a murky color below it. And then you're going to want to do upside down stairs and quartz like that to funnel the water into the fountain. What we're going to do next is work on our finishing touches, so actual finishing touches. We want to get this build done soon. It's been taking a while, and what we're going to do is delete all the grass and then take stone and make these kind of random stony patterns, then take andesite and do some more, and then take gravel and do our final patterns. I like to leave a few blocks open around the actual fountain and then tons of space open around where the stone was and fill it in with sand. On the far right corner in the back, you see we leave grass. We want to have a little bit of nature in the build, or else it's going to look way too structured. And then what we're going to do is actually pattern in single blocks around the outside of the stone area, and then we're going to take stone pressure plates and throw them around for a 3D effect. Get your barrels and get your potted plants, and also maybe take some upside down staircases for tables, and just put a lot of flower pots and barrels around this area of the build. Think about it maybe like an Assassin's Creed map or something like that, where you've just got kind of random atmospheric elements that are helping to create this look and feel of an actually used and vibrant town. I think the potted plants do wonders with that and help so much. I also think the barrels are a really great addition, and if you throw some on the fountain, it won't look bad. Then we're going to add a window to this front part of the build, because it is pretty bland, right? And it definitely could use something. So we're going to do this window pattern, and we're going to do double trapdoors on the right, left, top, and bottom. And then we're just going to make the trapdoors meet with the staircases and throw a trapdoor in the center. Go take your sapling or build your own tree, really do whatever you want, and just build it up on that side and bone meal it all. On the outside, I decided that it was a little bit empty, so I decided to just make a basic roof and put something on the outside regardless of what it was, but because I don't want to use anything precious or anything valuable, I decided to just do this all with wood, and I thought that that would be more realistic for survival. Now that you've done that, you're pretty much done. Hope you guys have enjoyed this tutorial. Definitely go back and check out how to do it more. If this part's confused you, let me know in the comments what I can do better or something I should do next. Go check out my TikTok for the full time-lapse Salad Plays MC. And yeah, follow and subscribe for more content. Go check out my Twitch, DressTheSalad. Thanks, guys.